BEEX project is a no-profit foundation about visual art and photography. If you want to help us, just drop a donation on buymeacoffee.com/BerlinExplorer. So welcome to this new appointment of 50 minutes of experience. Today I'm with Franziska Ostermann. Welcome, Franziska.
Hi, thank you for having me. Such a nice.
Really nice for me too. So Franziska is a really nice photographer from Germany. I don't want to be wrong, or Österreich.
Yes, I'm from Germany.
I'm from Germany. Okay. So, and I met her. I have seen for the first time her work in application she did for our first open call of transformation. And surely now I want to know a bit more about you and your experience. So I give to you the mic and just tell us something about you to start, and then we go on.
Yeah, sure. I would like that. Yeah, I'm a conceptual artist whose main media are photography and language, and both of those media interest me a lot, and also their interaction. And the central themes of my work are virtuality and identity, and dealing with one's own existence online and offline is the starting point of my work. And the photographic self-portrait gives me the opportunity to encounter myself. When the shutter is released, I'm the photographer and the photographed at the same time, at the same place. And I ask, am I doubled or split? Fragments of identity are transported through photographs, and in the digital world of the internet, they represent me in a place that I myself cannot physically enter. And detached from what is depicted, the images begin their own lives. And where does identity begin and where does it end, I ask? And what do the photographs that watch over us as avatars on the internet do while we are not looking?
It's really particular, your work. It's in a way, I feel transponded to a kind of different universe. And remember me a bit about this feeling of the 2000, where in this cinematography there was this period of Star Trek, Star Wars, or even Apollo 11. So it's really in a way so distant from the reality and totally in the reality. And I would love to know more about how did you start? So how did you come to this point to start to work in that way? So with this light, so strong white, and this softness on the body that transpond in a way the person from a reality to something is totally unreal.
Yeah, that's a very good question. I started photography when I was in my teens, and I started photographing myself with the world surrounding me, and then I got deeper and deeper into this and into image processing and Tumblr and all those words that surrounded us, like online and offline. And I followed this path, and when I decided what to do after school, I knew I wanted to follow photography. So I went to the Art Academy and studied my medium. And then I also fell in love with media theory and philosophy. And during my studies, I learned to combine the notion of intuition with theory, and to kind of work around that and make it connect. And through this journey, I also entered into the sphere of the words, and I started writing also. And for me, those two media are very interesting because they cannot be translated into each other. It's always something missing when you try to translate a picture into a word or words into an image. It's not possible. So they are kind of counterparts without being the exact opposite of one another. And I tried to find myself between them, kind of. And I started wearing white and only white when I was, I think, in my second semester. And that's now 8 years ago. And I'm surrounded by the color every day. And that also reflects in my work. And I find the color white extremely fascinating because it can represent regarding which historic or worldview you're going with, can represent grief and sadness or death, and also a new beginning, or innocence and starting over, or peace. And I find it very interesting how one color is so loaded with symbolism, but also so calm itself and so open to everything, and also so attached to every other color around. I read in a book about white that white is always drawn to other colors and easily transferred into another when it meets another color, because it's so fragile on the one hand, but also so strong because it has such a serene power, and always is very calming to me when I surround myself with it.
It's really particular, and I was talking in the previous episode with another photographer and researcher about poetry and photography. Also because I wrote 2 books of poetry too, and I found that connection. And we was talking about how it's powerful the use of the metaphor inside of poetry and combine it to also photography, that there are 2 kind of medium really powerful in the transponding ourselves to another different word, or just to realize the meaning of the words in a totally different way. And it's really difficult to combine that 2 elements, these 2 medium, because they are really powerful of meaning, and it's really difficult to get the point of the details to be really sure that word can describe that images. So in this case, I would say one time I was in Munich. I was just one time in Munich, and I remember I went inside of a library. It was an English library, an English bookshop, I think, and they was giving this photocopy of poetry, and I remember was this poetry of just one word, and the word was elegy, and I had this word in my mind for years, and then I understood that words was meaning a lot of things, and as photography, in this case, and in your case especially, that it's everything close to this white, but totally wide in the meaning, that is kind of just having one word, and but to have the space to go over and over and over. And another things come to my mind is my child recently, it was first days of school, elementary school, and they asked, no, what is your favorite color? And they say the white is my favorite color, because from the white you can have every color. You can do it every color. And in this meaning, I watch your work, and I think about, okay, during the process I have seen from your website and your feed, there is a kind of evolution in your work. From the just trying the medium of your technique, then there are some experiment with the words, and then going to this anthology of technologies also. And I'm asking to myself if you tried in a way, or you thought about to destructure more and more and more your technique to going really deep into these details of what real represent for yourself, or what you are catching or hunting in this moment in this style. Because in a way I feel like you are trying your style, but it's not defined right now. It's not like I'm in my case as a photographer, I will say I'm not really to the point I want to be. And this is something like I feel like in this experimentation. What do you think about?
Well, I don't think that there is one style or one recipe, so to speak, that I would follow within my work, and then I would say that's what I achieved and that's what I will always do. For me, it's very important to have this process and to always evaluate where to go to next. And yeah, there are themes in my work that are that connect every image with each other, or the images, but I don't think that there's a formula I'm after. I think it's more like a cloud or a rhizome of topics that I like to connect and that I like to go near to and explore and kind of move around them and gather my thoughts and then make those thoughts visible.
Okay. And this is a bit funny things. It's nice that you were white, totally white, and here in Berlin, totally opposite. You can, no, you can see a lot of people were totally black.
Sure.
And I was thinking, about you in this totally white, in this totally black world. And how do you feel about thinking about being in Berlin in totally white, in a place where most of people were totally black?
Yeah, I find that very interesting, that black is kind of the uniform of artists. And yeah, I often get talked to because of my clothing, and it's kind of a talk opener. Like people on the street, random strangers, started talking to me and say like, "Wow, you're totally white to my totally black today," and that's always so nice because black and white seem to form a connection even like that, and I think that's very beautiful. And also it's so cool because in Berlin there are so many different styles and of fashion, and there's everything is possible, and it's always so nice to just look at people and see what they dress like today. And even though there's so much there, it's also my my white is always kind of standing out, or
Yeah,
it's a
totally.
style of its own. And I think that's so interesting because it's kind of so calm, but it's so loud in another way, and it melts perfectly with all those
Yeah.
styles, I think.
If I think about the white, actually, if I think about you in this white in Munich, I feel a kind of form of straight idea. But then if I just take you and I put you in my imagination somewhere else, I see a kind of not really straight point, but totally how to say, like to put it out from what we consider normal, so everything depends of the landscape we put ourselves in. And but instead that, I would love to know if you think or you believe that the country where you live influence a lot the way you taking pictures, or you work with the photography, or probably you are more influenced from different other countries, different culture. Thanks for listening to our podcast. Learn more about our project at allmylinks.com/BerlinExplorer or visit our Instagram and follow Berlin Explorer project.
Ayo, 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 ayo. Ayo, ayo, ayo.
BEEX project is a no-profit foundation about visual art and photography. If you want to help us, just drop a donation on buymeacoffee.com/BerlinExplorer.
Yeah, of course. I think the city you live in, or the land you were born in, or the land you are now living in is totally influential to everything you think, and the accumulation of your experience is somehow related to that, because it's a cultural background, an historic background, social background, and so I would definitely say that I'm influenced by it, but I don't know to which range. I cannot depict it because maybe I'm too inside of it all, so that I cannot have an objective view. I don't know if I would have developed to only wear white in another country. Maybe in Asia, maybe not, because it's negatively connotated more than in Germany, because in Germany it's associated with peace and new beginning and blankness and an openness. I don't know that much about the connotation in the Asian room, but that's what I know, and so I can only decipher from that. But I don't know. I can't say for sure.
That is clear. I mean, it's honest answer. I like that. I mean, it's this is what I like to doing also this conversation with other photographer or artist, visual art editor, people working in the visual, that we can always figure out something new just based on a stupid question, or just talking with someone. Sometimes also only the voice of someone can unlock something inside of us that can be every kind of emotion. And I'm really interested about to ask you this last pair of question. How do you think, I mean, in a way or another, photography, in your case especially, work is a work to discover yourself, your identity, and how much did you change or did you discover about yourself through this medium?
That's a good question. Since I have photography in my life since I could think, or at least when I was a teen, and since then, and so it's always been a big part of my life and my personal way. So I cannot really break off my identity of the medium, because the medium is so interwoven into my personal view of identity. But I think it's definitely a medium that is used within the topic a lot. I mean, other artistic practices also. I mean, identity is a big theme throughout art in general, and a lot of artists are interested in the topic, I think. But what I think the medium really offers is that you can isolate one splinter of yourself. I mean, I like to think of the self as a storm of particles, of splinters that evolves and moves and forms itself anew every second, or every break of a second. So in my perspective, photography gives me the opportunity to isolate one of those particles in one instant from one specific perspective with one specific precise camera with one object that could take those particles and preserve them from me to be viewed by my future self. And so through the medium, I can, in the future, from if you see the future as something following the moment of photographing myself, then I can meet this splinter that I took from the moment before and transfer it into the then present. And so the medium photography is a bridge between the times. And I think that's that's so magical.
Yeah.
If you can even say magical, because it's so cheesy, but it is to me, because and photography unites those times, and then I can additionally to the splinter storm that I am in that second, then can also have this other splinter from before, and get to my conclusions from that.
Yeah, I totally get the point. And I was thinking, I mean, I will provoke you in a way as a curator and editor in this case. I mean, just provoke I hope in a positive way. But I think I really like your work. I really feel it's really interesting. But what I feel it's really interesting in your work, it's what you don't show. I think there is a plenty of things, details, and shades of this work are not visible. But I'm sure that these details are there. I'm really sure about that. And my provocation in this case is I will I'm doing sometimes in some podcasts that I give a challenge to the people I talk with, and I will love to see your work without the influence of the structure. So what I mean that I would love to see how do you portray yourself during the day. So at least just your normal day. And this is for me it's a really point of curiosity, because in a way I think for sure when you work on your kind of work, your style, there is a structure for sure, there is a preparation, but in another way is also a part of impulsive instinct, desire to doing what you do. But taking away time, to doing the picture, to prepare the picture, to prepare the camera. And then I asked to myself, okay, so why don't try just to portray yourself without portraying material yourself? And what can come out from that? What is the evolution of this style if you point the camera to something represent you, but don't represent you in this straight way to the point to show your face or your body? What can come out from that?
It's interesting that you asked that, because just last week I was trying exactly that, and I was photographing all my belongings, all my my closet and all my shoes, and I put them all together in like one arrangement, and then I took a photograph of it, and I for me it's obviously is I, as you mentioned before, I have a style that goes through the pictures. It's always a central composition, and for that it's more like there's not just one protagonist in that case, and it's definitely a challenge, but also in poetry I can do that. I can take that angle without showing my myself or my body or whatever you would yeah, whatever you would say is the main topic or the main sujet.
Yeah. So yeah, I just uh, put it down this challenge for you, and yeah, I think in a way or another we are always influenced from what we listen, also in a probably in an unconscious way. But yeah, I believe that uh, in a way the next step for your work will be to discover the details are the components essential of who are you. Um, because in a psychology way, when I watch your picture, I feel i- like something is just longing, just a feeling is longing. So then this is really important in the art world because there is something you communicate and it's constantly there. But watching you now in your face and watching the you in the picture, I feel it something changed in your life, and I think it's a moment to discover this inside.
Wow, that sounds interesting. Can you put that into words? What the yeah, the other thing might be?
Yeah. I mean, I can continue to talk about. You talked about Asian word. Do you know Rinko Kawauchi?
I don't think so.
He's a photographer, really particular. I'm totally in love with her photography. Um, her work, most of the life is based on the light, a really clear light, really soft, and details moment of pleasure in the world. It's really Japanese in this way, and there is a lot of poetry in her books, especially in one of the books is called Illuminance. And after years, she published the book. One of the recent book she published uh, was totally made in the night, and that let me understood something really clear about myself. In the past 10 years ago, we can say I was working totally in the night, totally in the destructuring pictures, searching the cruel, searching the trash, searching the also the erotic parts, just searching something touched me in a way. But then I realized after years that what I was searching, touching me, was clearly inside of myself, and I didn't want to exactly touch that. So I was searching outside something was already there, and I was just blind and closed, don't touch that feeling. And what I was just searching photography was the same what I was searching in my life as a human. And when I have seen this combination of two different work, I understood that there are moments in the life that we completely something also little details completely change our vision of the world, and then from a moment to another we are not able anymore to doing the same things we was doing before, and we can try in a way or another, but it's impossible because it's time, the time is past. And then from that vision I had, especially in my writing part, in my writing medium, I started to work a lot in poetry because I was a bit enough of photography. So I started to search first the meaning of the words. I wanted to know more about what was the various synonyms, what was the words I could use to discover the word I was inside. So I wanted I really decided to stay in the word. And then I remember I was writing, I was starting just a book, a romance, because a friend of mine told me, "Hey, you should write a book. It's so amazing your poetry. You should write a book." Okay, I'm not really a person good in long projects. So I need always to jump out from something. And then I started to write this book. And one week, entire week, I was writing about this book. And I realized that book. Now I'm realizing that book was just in a way or another a message I was giving to myself to understand also the process was inside of the art project I was doing. And I was writing about a man splitted in a kind of alternative realities, divided by 7 years. So the entire life divided every 7 years as a different character. And why 7 years? I just give a number of years to realize that from 0 to 7, we live in a life is totally protected from our parents most of the time. So we are really totally in our childhood. And from 7, almost 6, 7, we jump out we jump in a real world of our society. It's constructed to give us some rules, some way to be, and in a way something influences us a lot to become part of this society. And then it's this jump from 7 to 14, and from 14 you start to fight with yourself because you have an instinct. They come out from you. This instinct move you in a direction like you are not anymore a child. You are becoming an adult, and you are really angry to discovering some emotion, but you don't have the tools. And then when you jump to 21, that you are out of this imposition of the society in a way, but you are kind of in a jail of really to put yourself in the world, and understanding that now is the moment that you have to construct something, because then after other 7 years you will be really an adult, and go on. So all of that to say, this is the feeling I have, that probably your work, that is super cool, is part of just a moment of your life that now probably will become much more intensive and deep, as you was searching before. You was searching a connection with yourself, and you probably know why you are searching this touching mode. And probably now you have the tools to step out from this structure and touch this pleasure also to play with your tool of analysis of the world. So in a short way, what I would say, it's I think this is the moment just to use your camera as a camera, and showing to yourself that there is a lot of value inside of everything you live, without creating the value, because the value is already there.
That's a beautiful thought. Yeah, I would like to explore that. I will keep that in mind.
Yeah, I will look forward to see the results of what you will get from the future. I'm really curious about that. So thank you a lot for this talk. It was nice also to discover this silence inside of the conversation. And yeah, if someone want make more truth about the work of Franziska, I will like always put the link in the description, and you can follow her on her Instagram and the other website. And I hope you have a great day of a lot of inspiration. Thanks for listening to our podcast. Learn more about our project at allmylinks.com/BerlinExplorer, or visit our Instagram and follow BerlinExplorer project.